Hello everyone and welcome to Lobajo's Otaku, and today I'm giving you another quick Figma review. This time is Fate Extra's Caster. Now this was actually requested for me from one of my subscribers, because otherwise I was not that interested in the figure. But that's mostly because I have no clue about this character. I never saw her on any of the Fate shows that I did watch, so I was not that interested. And because I know nothing about the character except she looks really good, I'm going to go straight for the review.
Follow me. I'll cover you.
So I got her without the box because I don't think it's worth it to have KO boxes. I can understand wanting the original boxes with the original figures because they're basically part of the collection and normally they come in mint conditions, but trust me, you don't want KO boxes on your collection. So let's see what it brings. This one actually came with the instruction pamphlet that some KOs I've seen not bring, something that I actually don't agree with. And that little pack, that extra pack in this figure did not came. So it's not a big issue, but yeah, it's unfortunate that it does not come with that extra pack, as you always run the risk of breaking packs. Now let's take off the stand from her. And let me show you first. The figure itself looks actually really good. Now there's very few paint defects that I was able to catch, but there are some. Now this is not a paint issue, this is just something that I scrub off, but it was probably some dirt from the manufacturer, I don't know, but it comes off, so it's not a problem. Here I don't see major paint defects. I see some smudges, but are not too visible. Now the tail does have some smudges there, so as you can see, 2 smudges, and I think one of the legs also has a smudge. But for the most part, there are very few smudges. Most of them are not very visible. And the faces, now these two are the worst ones for me, because one of the faces has a small smudge there below the eye, the other one is on a cheek. Now again, unless you're checking for it, you're not going to immediately notice it, but it can happen to you. So you can have faces that have small paint smudges on them. Then it brings a small card that I have no idea what it is, because again I do not know the character, but it is well painted, even though it has some extra plastic on top, but you can easily sand it down. This is actually very well done, very beautiful. No paint smudges whatsoever except for the connection, but you're not going to see the connection. Now the stand is the worst stand I've got so far from Figma. There's like a plastic problem there, and oh my god, it's a lot of extra plastic in some parts, and again that same problem. Now the stand is working fine, it's working as it should work, but it looks ugly. I don't know how that messed it up. Then you have a second stand. This one is to put that little shield thing that she brings. Again, I don't know the character, but yeah, it looks nice, much better than the other stand actually. And then you have this extra clip that you can clip this in the original stand, so you can also clip the shield. I'm not managing to clip this shield in here. I don't know why. Probably I need to, because unfortunately that connector rotates, so it's not letting me apply force, but probably I'm missing something when doing this. But it plugs very easily in the other stand, and there you go, looks great. Now let's see what else can I talk about right now. Probably the hands. So the hands, we have an open hand. This one has some extra plastic, so I'm going to have to cut that off. The other one is really good, well done. Now this actually came broken, not a big deal, but we have 2 pointy hands, 2 hands to grab that card, 2 fist hands and 2 grabby hands. So we have a good assessment of hands. Now exchanging the face is very easy. Again, by the way, the joint in the head is a little bit too loose. It's a bit annoying, but again it's the same Figma exchange mechanism that we're already very much used to. So she brings a good amount of accessories and she looks very good. So let's look at the articulation.
And now comes the interesting part. Let your fingers get in there and have a good old rub-a-dub.
So we got that ball joint to ball hinge system that Figma loves to use, gives you great range of motion. Then for the shoulder we have a ball joint again to a ball hinge, allows great range of motion, and you have a swivel on the top of that hinge. And now the sleeves are the complicated part. Let me see if I can show you. There you have a big hinge there that hinges just the sleeve. Doesn't do it too much, but you do get a bend. But then the arm itself, it's too dark, but it has another ball hinge and it moves individually from the sleeve. Can look a little bit weird before you pose it, but it does allow you for good range of motion. And then of course for the hand you have a normal ball hinge. It does limit a lot the bend that you can do with the arm itself, but because of the dress it's a limitation. Now the waist swivel was very tight at this moment. I actually had to loosen it up and take the ball joint off. But before we go to that, let me just tell you that those hair pieces actually are in ball joint. I had missed that before because they were very tight, so I also had to loosen them up a bit and then put them back together. This is definitely something that probably the original does not have. And there you go, plug the head back in, and again we have a double ball joint on the waist that allows you to swivel. After I loosened it up, it actually became a little bit too loose, but it's not a major problem. So let's see. Oh my god. So here we have two ball hinges for each. So one for this side and another for the other. It's very heavy, so it will be hard to pose, but it's not impossible. The tail itself is just on a hinge, I believe, or a ball joint. The lengths do give you a decent spread because most of the other things are malleable. But she doesn't kick too far and too back because it does get some limitation. And why the hell is most of the shot off screen? Come on. I probably... Okay, so we have a tie swivel. And one of the sides was a little bit too tight. This is always one of the problems of these KOs. Okay, so when we have a hinge in the knee and a hinge in the foot, allows you forward and back, and you can pivot them. The articulation is very good, especially for a complicated figure with this dress, but it has some looseness problems in some of the joints, especially the waist and the head. For the most part, these KOs cannot really stand on their own without the stand, but I actually managed to put it in some positions where she does stand. Now just some quick comparisons with some Figma figures. Figma Nero Claudius, Figma Gilgamesh, Figma Matoko Kusunagi, Figma Ram, and finally Figma Kazumi from Dead or Alive Last Round, my latest Figma review. I can understand why some people like this character and the figure, but of course I'm not that big of a fan. But as comparing with the original figure, this figure has some issues, but overall it does look great on your shelf. It does not have that many paint issues. If you're looking for the original experience, the original Figma, Jungle actually still has it in stock, but it is a bit pricey. If you don't mind the inferior quality product, this is actually not a bad KO, and I will still give it my low budget otaku seal of approval. Hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, don't forget to subscribe and hit that little bell icon to always know when the new video is up. I do not just reviews, I also do news updates on figures from sites like Hobby Link and Hobby Search Japan. I do talks about anime, movies, and gaming. No, and of course model kits. A lot of stuff about model kits. So I'll always have great content for you guys.
See you next time. Do it! Just do it!